you always want to try to do as many things as you can, but
Sure.
I think it also comes with a amount of awareness,
Sure.
right? Of you knowing what you can handle, right?
Absolutely.
If it gets to a point where you're like, you know what,
Yeah,
I'm stretching myself out too thin, and you realize that productivity that you have.
I have days where I get like that, and my biggest like goal this year with all my businesses is to get my standard operating procedures like tight, so that if when I plug in new pieces, they can cohesively like adapt, and they know what their role is and what there is. And so right now, Mike, shout out to Mike on the wheel. My Cruise Nutrition is my one of my law clerks this year, and his goal amongst all of them is to promote efficiency across all of my businesses. And so he's making sure that craziness you're talking about is honed in. I have a home base for certain things. I have meetings with all of my heads of the teams on Mondays to set the week up and set things up right. And so, I recognize that I've got a lot of things going on, and unless I have that organization and the team behind me, I can't do it. I'm only one person.
Absolutely. Benvenidos, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of the Stay Tranquilo Podcast. Obviously, we are in a different setting today, thanks to Vic for putting this together. Cheers, brother.
Thank you for having me on the show.
We are right off El Farito, right off Key Biscayne. Obviously, a beautiful view out here, and the weather held up. We had a little rain coming out, but we made it happen in typical Miami fashion.
We always make it happen. If it rains for a second, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it can't beat this. So thanks again, man, for doing this, and shout out to Victoria for putting us in contact.
Thanks, Vic.
But I want to jump straight into it with you. You're a man of many trades, to say the least.
I wear a lot of hats.
Yes, a lot of hats, and one, I think that's very admirable to kind of give you your flowers, because I don't know how you do that, but I want the people to know a little bit about what you do.
Sure.
You do a lot, so shoot it and let them know what you do.
Yeah, it all goes down to helping people at the end of the day. I went to school to be an accountant. Started accounting. I was like, I want to count beans every day, so I went to law school. So I've been a lawyer practicing law for about 13 years now, and my ex's uncle, great uncle, got me into real estate in New York. He's made a whole lot of money. He said, hey, you're gonna make a whole lot of money in real estate, more so than you was a lawyer. So got my license, hung up my my broker's license, and I've been brokering deals for the last 8 years. So that's how Move Miami started. So Move Miami is my brokerage. I have my law firm. I focus on personal injury for the most part, and police brutality are the cases I focus the most on. And then through that, other things have evolved. So we have a dog daycare business that I run with my girlfriend out in horse country. It's called Wolf and Wag Miami. And so that's the latest baby. It's about 1.5 years old. And then actually the most recent one is called Paso Fino Miami, which is a horse riding venture that I've helped my neighbor next to Wolf and Wag. I met this badass Colombian guy who trains my horse. So a client paid me in a horse last year. Okay. And so I have a Paso Fino horse. She's about to compete over at Tropical Park.
Holy cow.
Her first competition is on Sunday. So we're hoping Luz shows off for everybody. And we have a Move Miami stable soon enough, or the Paso Fino Miami stables.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So you obviously, like you said, do a lot of different things. What is kind of like your calibration through all of that, right? You're doing real estate, you're a lawyer, you have your thing with the horse, you have the business with the dog hotel, right? Like obviously for anybody, even one of those things is a lot, right? Plus you balance family life, personal life, right? You know, get to enjoy things like this. Like that's a lot, right? So how do you balance all of that?
Look, it's all about your team and who you're around and your network. Part of my deal is like I realized in life that my gift was connecting people, and so I found that throughout all of my years in practice that I would retain the clients. So even though I was, at first defending really big people, I defended insurance agents, attorneys, brokers, lawyers in my first practice, and I got to meet very, very good clients. And throughout that time, I stayed in touch with them. And so through that, it's evolved, and my babies have grown. So the people who were my law clients are my real estate clients.
Interesting.
So I have a very vast network. Like I can tell you that my last chunk of real estate deals, the last batch, I think more than half of them are doctors. So I represent a lot of doctors in their real estate transactions. I've helped them get their offices. I've helped them get their personal homes. I've helped them in investments. Right now, I've got a joint venture going. I just bought this. We're about to close actually on Friday. This is a spec development we're going to do right behind Baptist. So we got this piece of land, and it's part of a real estate venture. But I'm putting together. Whoa. Good. No. Mike, what are you doing back there?
This is what you got to deal with when you're out on the boat.
You're good. That'll be the good blooper right there.
We gotta keep it candid.
So where are we? So about this spec development, it's I one of my partners is a doctor and the other is a general contractor, and we are about to redevelop this badass house right behind Baptist Hospital, which will be my first spec build to date. I've done other flips and stuff with my mom and other partners and little deals here and there, but this will be the biggest one I've done and has I think the biggest potential to have something really cool. So I put this together with my crew, found my guys, and hopefully we're doing a lot more of these in the future. I really like, it's onto the deal, onto the next one, and I'm in the middle of a gut reno at my own house, and so there's a lot of moving parts, as well as being a dad, taking care of my kids and raising them. But
what so the big thing is, right, in the midst of doing all that, you have to your mental state, right? And something that we like to talk about is getting the mind right, because if you don't have the mind right, how are you going to go about doing things like that? So what is your routine look like, right? That's just taking care of you personally.
So the routine is tough, man. So this is my R&R, like this.
Right.
I don't go to therapy. I have my daughter in therapy and I'm a part of it, but to me this is my therapy. This is when I need it's time to relax, I come out here. There's nowhere I feel more at peace than with my dad who's passed and connected with Miami than being out here. This is our backyard, right? This is why I live here. This is why I've never moved out. I went to law school in New York, but after one semester I was like, man, it's way too cold. I'm coming right back home. No big city lawyer. Olvídate eso. I'm back here. This is Miami. So we have this 24/7.
It is therapeutic. It's like the Zach Brown song where the ocean is my medication. Like that always hit me. I'm like, whenever I'm having a bad day, and I have a tattoo right here on my calf, and it's a palm tree with the coordinates of the moment you enter Key Largo. Because that's it. You turn it off. Exactly.
One of my favorite trips is from my marine in Matheson down to the Keys. My buddy Gia's parents they have this badass house there, and we spend many trips there. And there's nothing more relaxing than everybody's going down in their cars, and I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Both on autopilot, riding the intercoastal, and just vibing the whole way down. That hour ride is so peaceful.
It really is.
So building your team for sure, building it slowly, not getting ahead of yourself, and putting your clients first and doing the right thing and taking care of your people. Business comes back to you and it's growing. Like Wolf and Wag had its best month last month, year and a half in. The dog daycare's growing, and it's little by little. It's a little project. There's still a lot to be done.
Of course, and of course with everything, right? It's never sunshine and rainbows all the time, right?
Of course not.
There's tons of obstacles along the way. What are some of the obstacles that you faced across your journey of life, I guess you can say, and two, how did you kind of overcome those?
Well, one of the big ones I had was when I first kind of really stopped practicing law every day, and I had this hey, what are people gonna think? Is this guy brokering deals or is he practicing law?
Yeah.
And well, I've been doing it for 8 years now, doing both, and I tell people I do both. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. Some of my clerks see me like, how does this guy do it? You know,
Yeah.
1 second I'm Victor the lawyer, 1 second I'm Victor the broker, the other second I'm dealing with Derm and trying to get some regulations taken care of to be able to expand Wolf and Wag at Horse Country. So at the end of the day, it's resolving problems and your resolve and dealing with problems. How you approach things and taking the glass half full is the approach there.
Yeah, no, you have to have a positive perspective, and you always want to try to do as many things as you can, but
Sure.
I think it also comes with a amount of awareness,
Sure.
right? Of you knowing what you can handle, right? If it gets to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm stretching myself out too thin, and you realize that productivity that you have.
I have days where I get like that, and my biggest goal this year with all my businesses is to get my standard operating procedures tight, so that when I plug in new pieces, they can cohesively adapt and they know what their role is and what there is. And so right now, Mike, shout out to Mike on the wheel. My Cruise Nutrition is one of my law clerks this year, and his goal amongst all of them is to promote efficiency across all of my businesses. And so he's making sure that craziness you're talking about is honed in. I have a home base for certain things. I have meetings with all of my heads of the teams on Mondays to set the week up and set things up right. And so, I recognize that I've got a lot of things going on, and unless I have that organization and the team behind me, I can't do it. I'm only one person.
Absolutely. No, the organization is the biggest thing. I think life is just crazy as it is, right? If you can't have some sort of organization, everyone's got a different process for that. Sure. But if you can't have yourself organized, you're gonna jump off the ledge, basically. Sure. You're gonna drive, and it's just gonna crash and burn because it's not sustainable that way. So, and I think you said it, and he's obviously one of the biggest people to make all of this happen.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to do it alone. Anyone that tries to do it alone is just you got to find the pieces that you could put together that bring out the different strengths where you need them most.
You're 100% right. You got to focus on building your team to their strengths. Because what? Look, Mike's cousin was my first associate ever. Rosie, shout out to him, kicking ass, badass lawyer now, does a lot of stuff. We collab on things as well now, and he was a lot like me. He's one of my first hires, but he's like mini me. Yeah. Which wasn't good for business at a certain point in time. It's like, I taught him everything I know. Mm-hmm. He was telling his clients, I taught everything I know from this guy about negotiating, but, I needed to find things and people to complement me. So, my current law partner now, David, is a much better writer than I am. And so he focuses and does most of our writing. I do a lot of the, client generation. I come in when it's time for trial. I have trial on Monday, and we're gearing up. I took a little break here to be with you guys, but, it's a matter of finding who is the strongest in certain suits and putting them in that role to exceed and building them up.
Yeah.
If you're not building up your team, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's the best characteristic of a true leader, right? Like, it's not about you, it's about building everyone else around you, and it's only going to obviously help you in the long run. So one thing I actually wanted to ask you was, let's say I'm a aspiring entrepreneur, right? I want to start something of my own, and I'm listening to this. I have a full-time job. What would you recommend to someone that's in that phase where they know they want to do something of their own, but they're, they got their 9 to 5, they gotta make an honest living, but they know that there's something bigger and better for them out there?
Yeah, you got to take the leap of faith and don't stop. My cross country coach Frankie, who puts on the Miami Marathon, his motto is don't stop.
Yeah.
And if you put your head down and just go and don't stop, you're gonna get through it. You're gonna consistency.
Yeah, the consistency is everything.
You're posting constantly. You're up there. Mm-hmm. You're bound to grow. And
consistency, and then learning from the hiccups along the way. Oh, because you're gonna make a ton of them, but you can let them knock you down, or you can learn from them and use it as growth.
Absolutely, having mentors and people that are around you and they're gonna build you up and pick you up will also help too, man. I always, I tell people, look, call me if you have a legal problem. But if I can't take care of you, I'm gonna call the next best person that could. And a lot of times for the most part, I have someone to send them to who can resolve that problem. But if I don't, I'll tell them flat out, hey, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's not gonna work out. Period.
Yeah, 100%. So outside of your busy life, right, of doing all the things that you mentioned, what does your recreational life look like? Obviously, boating is one of them.
Boating and fishing are right up there. Golfing is my other escape.
Okay.
And so we definitely down to get out there and do a golfing segment. But those are my two. and obviously being with my kids, spending time with my kids. But golf for me is something that, when I got this, it was a trade-off. You had
True.
kids before, I could do boat and
Yeah.
golf day. Once you have kids, it's like, you really have so much time. It's finite
course.
time. But golf to me is like another
It
release.
is
Like
like a
this. It's like
therapy.
it's chill, it's relaxing. It's you against the course, and you get out there, man. You can drink, and I love the competition. I love
Same.
playing against my buddies. But there's nothing like being out here, being peaceful, connecting. I mean, it's what it's all about.
So for fishing, are you more of a deep sea guy, inshore, reef?
Yeah, I'm offshore most of the time. One of my buddies, Carlos, is an inshore guy, and I hit that up once in a while on the other side of the other coast, and that's over by like 10,000 Islands and
Right.
Flamingo, which connects to the Keys. Which
My
is
brother's
really
a
nice.
huge flamingo
And
guy.
it's fun. It's a lot more competitive sight fishing, but I'd rather go across the Bahamas.
Right.
My buddy Bernie, who sold me this boat, shout out to him. Custom Lines, by the way. Custom Lines brokerage if you're looking to buy or sell a boat, and Custom Line Insurance. Bernie's the one who's put me on some of the biggest fish in my life.
Hell yeah.
Got me into big yellowfin tuna fishing. I caught a big 60, almost 80 pounder with him. This last year I caught like a 40 some 50 pounder. Actually with his pops, so Papa Bern, saw you too. Those are my crew. I fish a lot with the Obsession guys on a big sea hunters. So love this boat. Sad to see it go, but
Yeah.
There'll be another one soon enough.
And plenty of boats to tag along with for some fishing.
Absolutely, yeah. This last one, we just fished the Belen tournament on the 46 Sea Hunter Cat. Just an incredible fishing machine, monster tower, like the dance floor up front. I mean, you got a lot of room here, but
You do.
got 46. You can have a party in the front, party in the back, and where we're fishing, I think 9 lines off one side and another 4 or 5 off the other. So the amount of fishing room with a crew that knows what they're doing is, you can't compete it. Can't beat it.
What is your favorite fish to catch? Is it tuna?
Tuna is pound for pound. I think yellowfin tuna has got to be some of the best.
Best fight?
Best fight at all. I mean, I love snapper. I love to eat snapper. I can yellowtail fish all day, but definitely fishing for yellowfins is real fun. I actually had one that I really enjoyed as well. It's in the summer, so now July and August, there's like 2 months where you have shots at catching Cubera snapper.
Okay.
Down in the Keys off of a wreck down there, and you got to line it up with the moon. Some of the best baits, some live crab or a live lobster. That is just massive, too. That's a lot of fun, pound for pound, and it eats well too. So
Yeah,
Cubera's
I'm a big catch and cook guy. So anything that I can eat,
we'll do a catch, clean, and cook. The stuff the bycatch that we didn't put up on the scale. We caught a big African pompano that didn't weigh for the tournament, and I gave it to Mike, and Mike's got his little cruise fish dip.
Oh yeah.
So there's gonna be a cruise fish
that.
dip batch coming up soon that we smoked up last Friday at the office. So I definitely love to make my fish dip and cook for sure.
Hell yeah. So before we kind of wrap it up, I want to do like a little of like a rapid fire question.
Sure.
And get your kind of point of view on a couple things. So the first one I want to ask you is what's your best round of golf?
79.
79. And where was it at?
Mel Reese.
Mel Reese. Oh man, R.I.P.
Rest in peace. It's a good round.
That's a tough course.
Yeah, it was. I've only
When
cracked
the
it
greens
once.
were rolling there, that shit
I've
was
only
no
cracked,
joke.
Only cracked it once.
That's a
Couple 81s, 82s, 83s, but that day
it's a shame. That was
everything.
one of the nicer
Everything
courses
went
out
down. It was
here. It
awesome.
was one of those days.
Yeah, perfect.
The second question I want to ask you is, are you a football guy, baseball guy, hockey guy? What's your go-to sport?
Dude, I played baseball my whole life. I love baseball, but in terms of watching sports, since I don't. I have so much business now. It's something in my life that
Really?
I don't watch as much as I used to, just because I'm focused on business and my kids, and that's something that I don't really start paying attention till the playoffs come around. So
That's fair.
But I've done a lot of hockey games this year. I haven't done any Marlins games this year, shamefully. I love basketball. I was there for all the Heat, LeBron run, had season tickets. I've had season tickets to all of them,
Okay.
but I'm a big Miami sports fan.
Yeah.
Through and through.
We've had a rough couple of years as a fan. Even though it feels like things are changing around out here.
Absolutely.
Between the Finns and the Panthers. Last one before I ask you the final question, but if you're gonna go to dinner with somebody, who would be your dream like dinner guest, dead or alive?
Wow. Dream dinner guest. You got me stumped here. You got me really stumped on this one. Dream dinner guest.
The first time I got asked this question, it didn't come out as
Yeah, no.
as easy as I thought. And the more I sat on it, the harder the decision.
Yeah, no,
got.
I'm thinking. I mean, I love going to nice dinners. You know, it's one of the things I've done a lot with Move Miami is like showcase a lot of different places in Miami and meals. But, you know, I don't know if I could bring my dad back and have dinner with him. I guess it'd be like, that'd be like something I'm thinking about it now.
That's actually the most popular answer.
I've got his hat now. If I could have another dinner with him and just show him what I've done, that'd be pretty cool.
But, that's actually the most common answer. And when it happened, I was in my head thinking it would be like a celebrity or an athlete,
at all. Like I don't care.
You know, or whatever major, you know, human throughout history.
Sure.
Like that's what I would always expect the answer to be. Yeah. But 9 out of 10 times it's actually you know, a grandfather or a father or mother, etc. Last question: what to you does it mean to stay tranquilo?
This, bro. This is tranquilo, man. This fishing,
Absolutely,
golfing, relaxing, and enjoying the vibe of Miami, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you let them pan this way, like, look at you know, no traffic right now.
No.
This is rush hour for us right now. You know, we ran from the middle of Coral Gables to Key Biscayne. I mean, I've sold some of the best properties in Miami right there where we left from. So this is my pocket, bro. This is where I live. This is where I grew up, and I love seeing it grow and what it's going to be, but nothing more tranquilo than being out here on the water.
No, it's not. When I first created the whole Stay Tranquilo thing, like this is the keys in the boat world is what always like was what my tranquilo was. And then I think there's so many different variations of what tranquilo is to people. I think golf is also one. That's why I've always gravitated to the world of golf.
Sure.
Travel is obviously big.
What's your favorite golf course in Miami? What's your favorite track right now?
In Miami, the thing is, like, we're so limited.
Yeah,
obviously Trump is a beautiful course.
Yep.
But I don't know. I really like the Biltmore.
The Biltmore's a nice home track for sure.
Biltmore's nice. It's like it's got like a homey feel to it, yet it's not super challenging, but it gives you that aspect of like quality still
What's the toughest track?
Oh, probably the Blue Monster.
Blue Monster stuff. No, I actually think Key Biscayne is the toughest.
Crandon is actually
Crandon
brutal.
gives no mercy. It's even harder than the Monster.
I would say Crandon's
sure.
the nicest course, but they've kind of let it go because, you know, if you look at location-wise, that should be the nicest course here.
It's prime time when the wind picks up.
Yeah.
Be careful, especially if you're paying for
Well, that course used to be a senior tour.
Yeah,
They used to have a
remember.
senior tournament there, and the winning scores there would be like -1, -2.
Yeah.
It's a brutal track. When the wind's blowing, it's long. I think you got a par 5 there that's close to 600 yards.
Yeah, it's
hitting from the blue tees. Like, you're not even playing from the tips at that point.
It is brutal. I love that course. And then sometimes you're on a par 3 and you got a big ass iguana staring at your face. Like, yo, get the hell out of the way, man.
Yeah.
You're watching at me now.
It is a really nice course, but it's unfortunate because being here in South Florida, you would think we would have more, but we don't.
Yeah.
We're limited in Miami. I mean, you go up towards the Jupiters and the West Palm area, and they're at influx out there.
For sure.
But we don't
Those
have them out
cities
here.
aren't as old as ours. So
No.
They thought a little bit more before they built those out.
Exactly. But awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming
Bro,
on.
thank you
This
for
was a
having me. I
blast.
appreciate it.
Beautiful day. Thank you for the weather, for holding up.
Hope this turns into a frequent Stay Tranquilo podcast.
agree.
Move Miami Tranquilo collab.
Absolutely.
We can talk about some hot real estate that's coming up, and you know.
And some fishing.
we can get some fishing, bro. If we get Bernie out here, I tried to get him out here today, you know, but he's busy catching up. He just put the boat under contract, so we'll definitely make it happen. I absolutely think we can make something like that happen.
That'll be fun.
Be good stuff.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll tag everything of yours in the handle so you can make sure to follow them. And thanks again for tuning in, and we're excited to keep doing some more stuff together.
All right, brother. Thank you,
brother.
Cheers.